Hi, and welcome to the Mad About You podcast. I'm your host, Madeline, and this is a video podcast mostly about knitting, crochet, sewing, and generally me living my craftiest life possible. I'm coming to you today from Sydney, Australia, where I live, and if you want to find me online, you can follow me on Instagram at mad.about.you, and on Ravelry I am Madbell. If you see any of my projects that you like, I probably have got them, well actually all the recent ones I have got them on Ravelry, and I have got some pretty detailed show notes for I think the most important ones, or the ones that have taken me a bit of figuring out, and I'm just looking around because I have forgotten something, so I'm just going to go grab it and I'll be back. So I think it'll be a short episode this week. It's only a week after my last episode was published, but about 2 weeks since I recorded because I had some technical difficulties. I'm still trying to figure out this whole phone versus iPad versus computer editing YouTube business. But yeah, hopefully this will be up in a couple of days. So I wanted to start off with my finished objects, and the elephant in my room is my Exploration Station by Stephen West, which I'm wearing at the moment, but I won't keep on for too much longer because it's very warm inside my apartment, and this is actually quite warm too. So I have talked about it in the last few episodes, and this is it here in all of its glory. It's really quite big, so hard to show all of it, and to be honest I haven't measured it, so I will probably do that this afternoon, and then I will pop those notes on my Ravelry page as well. So like I said, the pattern is the Exploration Station by Stephen West, and it's found on Ravelry or in his Shawls #1, which is a book that I do own. And I'm sort of knitting, I say knitting my way through. I've knit 2 of those shawls. And I just realised that my microphone was not on my person, so I'll fix that and hopefully you can hear me a bit better. I'll just talk a bit about it quickly. I know that I've mentioned it on every other bloomin' episode I've done, but anyway, so the yarn was all Sweet Georgia yarn, which I bought from Skein Sisters, which is my local yarn store, but Sweet Georgia Yarn is a artisan yarn company from Canada, and I use 2 of their different types of sock weight yarn. So there's Tough Love Sock, which is these 2, the charcoal and that ultraviolet purple colour, and then the other 2, which is these 2 here, and it's their Cash Luxe. So it's like a cashmere wool blend, and with stellina also. Look, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's much bigger than I thought. Well, I guess this is probably quite similar to the size that the pattern says that it's going to turn out to be, but when I wet blocked it earlier this week after I finished it, and it grew, probably it doubled in size I reckon after I blocked it. So I think that was just the brioche kind of pulling out, and these chevrons also, and I reckon the I-cord bind off probably took me about 2.5 hours, which is less than I was expecting, but still quite a long time to be binding off. So I just want to give you some statistics as I have it. So at the end of every section, there's 5 sections, I stopped and I weighed the yarn just to see how I was going, mostly out of my own curiosity, not because I needed to or I was worried that I would run out, and I certainly didn't. I've ended up with this much left over. So I'll talk about another project, but I've already put these 2 in my cozy memory blanket, so I've skeined those back up and they'll just go back in my stash. And then these 2 here are yet to go in the blanket. So so my final statistics. I had 54 grams of this charcoal colour left. I have 64.1 of this colour here. and I had 69 of this one, and colour D, 39.1 grams left of this. So I haven't updated those totals after knitting it into my Cozy Memory blanket, but yeah, that was all those notes are on my project page on Ravelry. I think it's called My Sweet Exploration Station. So yeah, if you follow my Ravelry, you can go in and check that out. Yeah, I did really pretty extensive notes on how I chose my colours, my weights after every section, blah blah blah. Probably the most detailed notes I've ever taken. So anyway, that's probably enough rabbiting on about that, but I'm really happy that it's done. I do quite like it, but if I did it again, I'd probably change one of those pinks, and I might also swap the order of the purple and the charcoal just to probably balance out that kind of bright colour so much. But I mean, I really like it. I can see myself wearing it. Probably need some lessons in how to wear it because it's so big. Usually I put the kind of like the fullest part of the shawl on the front and then just wrap the ends around, but it has so many nice parts to it. I really need to find a better way to display it on my person. So that's the only knitting finished object I have, but I also have a sewing finished object. So I made this one yesterday actually, and I'm not going to lie, it took me about 4 hours. Nothing against the pattern, it's against my sewing skills. But yeah, so this one is the Finch Bucket Tote, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned last time. So it's by Stitch Mischief, and I follow Stitch Mischief on Instagram. And I found out about this because my friend Paula made that really cute one with her, the little dog, Amos, inside. So anyway, I bought the pattern about 2 weeks ago, I think, and then last week I went to the fabric store to buy some outer fabric, and this is what I chose. Well, this is the bag. And I chose the llamas, and I do have some fabric that I would have had enough of actually to use, but I really wanted something fun and funky for the first time that I did it, and I thought that would really match the lining fabric which I already had at home. Oh, and I also had to buy some of this exterior fabric because after I bought the llamas, I didn't have anything that kind of was mellow enough. I had a lot of canvas or calico, but I didn't want to put that on the bottom because I thought, oh, it might get dirty. But yeah, this is the Finch Bucket Tote. So it's enormous. Like, I cannot even, I guess, explain to you how big this bag is. So it's fully lined, like I said, and then you also sew in some pockets. So they go around both sides, and I veered from the pattern a little bit, and it says to insert your pockets and then you sew 3 lines, so essentially you have 4 small pockets. So I did that on one side, and on the next side I just did down the middle so that I could essentially put a pattern in there, or my notions pouch. And this is also sort of why I chose the llamas, because I wanted it to match this. But yeah, so this notions pouch fits really nicely in that side, and at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skeins of yarn. I'd show you the bottom, but I realised I didn't actually finish sewing up that hole, and there's some strings attached, but anyway. So yeah, that's that. And it also had a pattern book. Actually, I'll just, stuff it. I'll just show you. So yeah, so what did I say? 7 skeins of, that's DK weight, so 8 ply yarn, which is for my Radiate pullover, which I haven't yet started. Don't get excited. So yeah, they're just sitting in the bottom, plus the pattern book, which is Interpretations for, which I said that I would mention this time, or this episode. And there's the Radiate, and I also have printed a copy of the pattern. Yeah, so they just fit nicely in here as well. And then, because I was pretty excited, I had just chucked a few other projects on top with yarn and whatnot, and so that's probably three full skeins. and I could just chuck that on top and there's still room. Like, this bag is massive. And I wanted it big because I wanted to put my Radiate pullover in there. So now that I've got the kind of basic pattern, I think I might make another one that's slightly smaller, maybe for my Zweig, or actually, which I think I'm going to make something else instead with that yarn now. But anyway, that's a different story. Yeah, so now I've kind of know how to do the casing for the drawstrings and whatnot, which is something I could have probably found on YouTube, but the pattern had like 7 or 8 pages. It was really detailed. The only thing it didn't have is pattern pieces. So what I did is I had some tracing paper and I measured out on my quilt, my rotary cutter mat, which has all the inches, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so I made the pattern pieces myself with that, and then I cut around those, which I found worked really well. And at first, you know, when I saw that it didn't actually have the pattern pieces, I was a bit disappointed. But I would have had to print them all anyway, and I think this way just worked easier for me. So yeah, really happy with it. Highly recommend this bag. She's happy for you to sell. If you make them, you can sell like on a small home production scale. But yeah, that's the picture again, and you just buy it off her website, I'm pretty sure. I think last time I said it was Etsy, but it's not Etsy. That was another bag pattern that I had purchased. So yeah, they're my finished objects, and I talked about them way more than I expected to, so I'm sorry. And if you weren't interested, please just fast forward. Also, just a hot tip, if you are watching podcasts, and this actually works on your like audio podcast app as well, you can listen to them sped up. So I listen to most of my podcasts, both audio and like on YouTube, usually like 1.5. On my iTunes app it goes 1.5, 2, and that's the different speeds. And I have some I can listen to at 2, like if they're really long, and I want them to go quickly, obviously. But if not, yeah, that's just a hot tip. Maybe even just to speed up the process a little bit, maybe listen to me at 1.25 and it'll go quicker if you want to watch the whole thing. Yeah, so in terms of works in progress, I have 2 that I have to show you. So I haven't really done, well, I can't remember how much I had shown last time, but anyway, my rainbow socks, which is 3 Mums yarn in their fluoro. It actually has a colorway name and I never can remember it, so I'm really sorry, ladies. But yeah, so this is what I'm up to, and I just kind of put some stitches on there every so often, or maybe I take it to work, and I don't usually get to knit on it during my lunch break, but I try. Yeah, so this one, or they're both going to have an afterthought heel, like I've mentioned before. So I've just got one more repeat, pretty much, blue, so back down to pink again, and then I'll put in the line for the afterthought heel, and then I'll keep going. So yeah, I'm not sure who these are going to, but I have a friend who I wouldn't necessarily usually say, well, wouldn't be knitworthy for me, but she's had a bit of stuff going on, and I feel like these bright socks would be down her alley. So I'll see how I feel, and then maybe I will gift those to her. If not, yeah, I'll just wait till I figure out who, and I'll put the heel in. But so that's that one. And then this little project bag my mum made me before I knew how to sew. I asked for some project bags for Christmas, or for my birthday, I think, and she delivered in spades. I got 3, so they're awesome. Thanks, Mum. So in the first ever drawstring bag that I made, but anyway, look, it's not my greatest sewing masterpiece, but it's small and it serves its purpose. It's just I added 2 squares to my Cozy's Memory Blanket by Kemper Ray. Yeah, so I just added these 2 colours here, which obviously are from my exploration station, and then the next colour will be, I was going to go this one, but I feel like that maybe I did it wrong and I was supposed to put purple there. Anyway, that might blend in, and then the next colour is the purple, but I've somehow misplaced that. Yeah, so not a lot of progress, but I'm trying to kind of put the squares on as I get them so that I can reskein the actual yarn and put it away so it doesn't accidentally get eaten by any animals or anything. Not that I've ever had moths in my house, or particularly in this apartment, but you never know. So that's it. I kind of have like an acquisitions segment usually, but this time it's nothing yarn, like there's no yarn that came into my house, which is kind of, it's good, I have enough. But I'd like to talk about the t-shirt that I'm wearing. So, I've set the camera up too high, but anyway, it says knitters across the boob, and, or knitter, sorry, and I could choose that one, and I did choose that actually. So, yeah. So the people I supported, it's called Stitches Tees. And this was actually a Kickstarter campaign that I came across on Instagram one night when I was on a night shift at work, and I couldn't help but support them. So it's Vicky and Charlie, and they are two sisters in the UK. And essentially they met their Kickstarter goal within a few hours, I believe. So I think I definitely pledged on the first day, and then I had a bit of a mix up because I put the wrong email address, blah, blah, blah. And the ladies were so helpful. I think we managed to narrow down who it was because I was the only donor from Australia on that day. So, and I remembered how much roughly I had pledged. So they are Stitches Tees, and that's their information. I just want to make sure it all gets on the screen. Yeah. Oh, and so they make garments such as this, and so essentially it worked out the pledge, or whatever item you wanted was how much you pledged. So I think, actually, you know what, I can't remember exactly, and I don't want to say because the conversion is not nice. However, the first thing I saw was this bag actually. So it's a canvas tote that says Yarnivore, and I am a bit of a sucker for anything canvas totes that is remotely craft related, and I had to have it. So then I went to buy it and I was like, oh, they don't have this stuff yet, it's a Kickstarter. So I pledged, they met their target, and so I also wanted this t-shirt because, problem is that it's a bit tight across my boobs, so I don't know how often I will wear it. I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure that out. But yeah, I really wanted something. I'm a knitter with a capital K. I'm a lifestyle knitter, and I really don't care. I'll tell anyone and everyone. And people sometimes aren't particularly nice about it, but I don't care. My family's pretty supportive, and yeah. So anyway, really happy. And they also gave me a discount code, which was pretty cool. I don't know if I'll use it because I've kind of got everything that I wanted, but they had these stretcher rewards, I think they were called. So they worked out they needed maybe £800 or something to do the first batch of whatever it was, and essentially it was just raise enough funds to be able to start their business, and they just reached it. So then you got a stretcher goal. So there's some temporary tattoos in here, which I think it's just the same yarn ball picture as what's on there, and then there's some stickers. So 2 that say Yarnivore. Let me do this properly. And then 2 that say Knitter. So I have to think really carefully about where I want to put these, or I'll just have to buy more, to be honest. And then I also got a compact, it's just a mirror, but it says Knitter as well. So yeah, thanks Vicky and Charlie for sending all the extra stuff. So yeah, my money that I pledged was for the bag and the t-shirt, and it was such a nice surprise actually, because I had seen that they'd posted, because a lot of people were sharing things on Instagram or whatnot about things having arrived, and I wanted to take a photo of my stuff and put it on Instagram, but I wanted to share it here on the podcast first, so I'll probably take a photo and put it on my Instagram later. But yeah, it was excellent, such a surprise, and I'm really happy for the ladies, because why would you not get some extra apparel that designates you as a knitter to the world? So yeah, that was that. And yeah, like I said, that's where you can find them. And their shop is now open. I'm pretty sure it's on Etsy, and it's fully funded, and they are good to go. So there is a turnaround time for stuff, obviously, but yeah, that's that. That's all I have this week. Usually we'd do a little bit of a week or a time in review, sort of I can't remember what my proper title was supposed to be for all these segments, which is really bad because I said, yep, I'm getting organised and the podcast is going to be sequential and blah, blah, blah. And it sort of is, I just don't remember what it was called. But anyway, I haven't really done anything interesting. I've been fighting for knitting time in between work and some study and trying to fit in, some PT. So yeah, I don't really have anything to share. I guess my recommendation for the week, or my favourite things that I've kind of been doing, is this pretty cool shirt. And yeah, that's all I have. So anyway, it's about 5 minutes shorter than usual, so not as short as I thought it was going to be. But thank you so much for watching. I don't know when I'll see you next, hopefully in like another couple of weeks or so, but if I haven't managed to get anything done, I probably won't record because it'll just be me yabbering on for however long about nothing. So yeah, I'm going to try and be crafty and get some stuff made, but if I don't, have a lovely period of time until I see you next. Thank you so much for watching. And if you do want to follow me online, it's at mad.about.uewe on Instagram, and I'm Madbell on Ravelry. And I'd love to, get in touch. Thanks so much. Bye.